Hello, BookTube. There's a new BookTube event, spur of the moment thing. I knew it was coming from advance word, but I planned on just cheering it on from the sidelines. I wasn't really going to participate in it. But circumstances have intervened to make me want to participate in it. It's called Christmas in July. And it was put on by Sarah the Bookish Knitter and a bunch of other great channels. I'll try to leave all the channels down below. And it is the last 2 weeks in July, so you've got plenty of time. It started already, but you've got plenty of time to read a book or more in the last 2 weeks of July that are Christmas-themed, winter-themed, especially Christmas-themed. And I was going to let this go by because I'm a little bit surfeited with BookTube events, but then for the last 12 days, it's been boiling hot here in Boston, which has made me yearn for the change in season that I actually do not believe is going to happen this year. So it's reflexive for me to say, well, it's boiling hot outside, so I'm looking forward to the cold days and the cold nights of November and December in Boston. But I don't believe the nights in November and December in Boston are going to be cold. It's certainly not going to snow at all. It's not going to snow here again in this Milankovitch cycle. So 150,000 years from now it may snow, but it's not going to snow next winter. And winter feels like something you need to put air quotes around because I don't believe it's going to be cold either. But we shall see. I could be wrong. But the heat wave, it hasn't been technically a heat. Technically, a heat wave is 3 consecutive days where the temperature at Logan Airport is 90 degrees Fahrenheit or higher for a daytime high. So we started off this batch with a heat wave, and then we ended it just today is the downslope of another technical heat wave. But in both cases, 3 days. Only 3 days. But the 10 days in between were 89.5 degrees Fahrenheit every single day. So that counts. I think that counts. It felt like one long heat wave, which made me want to participate in Summer in July. So I thought the participants are doing TBRs for Summer in July or talking about their books. I thought I would show you the Christmas in July books that I am going to read for the rest of the month, sprinkled in amongst my other books. Now, the first one, there are a couple of rereads on here. The first one is a reread that I read this book when it first came out. I believe that I reviewed it. I think that I reviewed it. It's A Week in Winter by Maeve Binchy. A later novel in which a woman later on in her life transforms an old manor house into a bed and breakfast, into a guest house, a hotel of kinds. And it's the story of the people who go there and the changes in their lives that happen while they're there. It's a slight novel, in every sense of the word, but it's delightful, utterly charming. And it's USA Today blurb on the cover. I don't remember if I reviewed this. I think I did. But I certainly don't remember where or when. but I'm looking forward to rereading it. Maeve Binchy is always good for a reread. And this next one is a romance novel. All the rest of these things are romance novels. And this is not a reread. But I think it's close. This is Laurie Wilde, who's fantastic. And this is A Cowboy for Christmas. And the reason that it seems familiar to me is because it's a Jubilee, Texas novel of hers, set in the town of Jubilee, Texas. A very popular thing with romance authors to set a string of novels all in the same town, same landmarks, the same people who get mentioned in every book. Not that you need to read them in order, but it does add a cumulative effect of feeling at home when you read those books, especially since you know that a lot of the people that you're meeting who are not integral parts of the plot of the book you're reading are going to have books of their own in which they also find love. And in this case, I believe the story is that a single mother is just trying her best to get by when a sexy cowboy enters her life. I'm not 100% sure if that's it, but it doesn't matter because Laurie Wilde has infinite credit in the Bank of Steve, so I will definitely read this and maybe be transported into winter. Maybe. Now, another thing that's definitely going to be on this list for Christmas in July, for me, is Regency romances. I love Regency romances. I like especially the older Regency romances, where everybody keeps their clothes on. But I like the new ones, too. And for some reason, probably having to do a lot with Prince Albert, almost everything goes back to Prince Albert in one way or another, people love associating the Regency with Christmas. And Regency Christmas novels over in the romance bookcase, I have, I think, 400 Regency novels, and there are a good 70 of them are Regency Christmas novels. And I found one of those, not from there, but it also is an author that I really like, and it might be a reread. I'm not 100% sure. It's Christmas Angel by the great Joe Beverly. And I think I read this. I think it's actually on that romance bookcase. It's the story of a lord, of course, who is so well-liked. He is so charismatic. He's so magnetic in society that he is accustomed to it. Doesn't particularly like it. It hasn't gone to his head. It hasn't made him arrogant. He doesn't particularly like it, though. The thing that he doesn't particularly like, I guess the way you could say it, is that he has his way with people, not just women. He has his way with people. And the young woman that he meets and courts in this book, he doesn't have that effect on her, and that creates just the kind of friction and attraction that they like. That is the basic plot, and that sounds familiar, and I've read a lot of Joe Beverly, so I may have already read this thing. We will see. I will give it a try. I'll know, like the rest of you, I'll know in 10 pages. Of course, I won't stop. Even if I get, like just with murder mysteries too. I used to know somebody who read murder mysteries all the time when he wasn't reading for work. And he used to tell me, just routinely, over wine and calzones, he would say, oh yeah, I picked up a whole bunch of mystery novels. I don't remember if I've read any of these. I'll know right away. I'll know, after the first clue. And I said, so then you'll put it down. He said, oh, no, I wouldn't dream of it. I'll read the whole thing all again. And I do the same thing. So when I get to chapter 2 of Christmas Angel, if I realize then that I have read it already, I'm still going to read it again. Then this next one, our Christmas in July is about to go off the rails and then off the track into a crevasse. First, we'll go off the rails. This is for the gays. You got to have something for the gays. This is Brigham Vaughn. I think that's probably a pen name. And this is Cabin Fever. 2 gorgeous young graduate students go home to the winter chalet of one of the students for a break, for a holiday from school. And you think, okay, so they'll screw like bunnies while they're there, and that will be the novel. No. Nope. One of the characters' father is home at the chalet. And he is a studly 2% body fat silver fox. And the boyfriend of the graduate student who brought his boyfriend home thinks, the father's even more attractive than the man on my arm. I don't know what the romance term for this would be. It's not twincest. I don't know what it would be, but it's not my best friend's boyfriend. It's my boyfriend's father. I don't know what I'm in for. I have no idea whether or not it will be well done. I'm hoping. All I know is that it's got an incredibly wintry cover, and that's what I want when it's 95 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And then we'll finish up this list with something that A, was probably predictable, and that B is probably the reason why I'm not a co-host for Christmas in July. We'll finish up with tentacle fiction. This is by Chloe Archer, and it is called All I Want for Christmas is Tentacles. And the storyline here is that there is an alien. It's just minding its own business. It wants to partake of this weird Earth ritual that it has observed in illicit X-ray beams from planet Earth of Christmas. This alien being doesn't know what it is, but this alien being likes the way it looks. It seems very cozy. Humans look forward to it. But does this alien being have a chance to do that? No, because this alien being is affianced to a ruthless warlord's offspring with a loveless alien marriage ahead of it in some distant planetary system. And over on Earth is our main character and his cat. Our main character's life is going down the tubes. His job, he hated it anyway, and he's losing it. He's buried in student debt. The narrative, the description of the novel never adds that the foremost problem with his life is the aforementioned cat. Maybe if you got rid of that, things would start to look up. I bet that Chloe Archer, I'm sure that's a pen name, is a cat fancier. But anyway, the main character, the human character, doesn't think that anything can go right. That I need a change, and boy does he get one, because he gets beamed to that alien planet, that alien being's world, and starts to fancy it. His personality, the way that he likes Christmas. Who doesn't like Christmas? The way that he's affectionate towards the cat rather than eating the cat, as any self-respecting alien would do. And also, one other reason. The tentacles. Which, as I mentioned a couple of years ago, when I first started exploring this subgenre, and a number of you told me that you will now have nightmares for months after my mention, the thing about tentacles is they get everywhere. So I am not only finishing up Christmas in July with All I Want for Christmas is Tentacles, I am also besoiling Christmas in July with All I Want for Christmas is Tentacles. So there. So those are my Christmas in July picks for this year. I couldn't have wanted it better, considering the weather that we've had. So I will gladly participate, and we'll see what I make of these. Rereading the Maeve Binchy is going to be fun anyway, and some of the rest of these may be very enjoyable. So there you go. I'll try to leave a link to everybody else that's involved here. You're going to watch their videos. You're going to love it. And maybe read a cool book yourself for July if it's hot where you are. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.